Hey everyone, Mark and Joey here from UltimateSportsChannel.com. Joey, head over to the website. We got 50 posts of sports news and all different sports there every day for you, as well as our sponsors and some deals that we have there. So head over, check out the website every day. We're certainly not going to be able to cover all this and what we do on our weekly show. So there'll be some stuff there for you to read and be able to catch up. But Joey, we want to talk about a sport that's not even playing right now, but is managing to keep themselves in the news. I don't know if it's good news because they're getting trashed on both fronts, but MLB this week talk about a new playoff system and talk about Houston Astros still and what happened around that situation.
Yeah, and I really don't want to do this show because baseball's just starting to annoy the crap out of me. I mean, you play 162 games to start with, you're talking about bringing training camp back and then all this crap about this and that. I've had enough. I must admit, they provide some drama with the best free agency maybe in sports, and I typically hate it, and I do hate it because there's no cap. But at the same time, like basketball, players are flying left, right, and center. Important players, and it's amazing how easily a team can get better in baseball and change.
But a lot of them don't. I mean, the two biggest free agents last year, teams didn't make playoffs. So
yeah, this year was a little
like
different.
basketball.
I mean, I'm talking more like the Dodger game, Mookie Betts and David Price, but the LA Angels now have gotten Jock Peterson. I've got Mike Trout. They're building. They got Rendon from the World Series champs National. So, that team made some moves. I'm not talking about like one guy. I'm talking about like it's amazing how many like pitchers all of a sudden and batters and something like the Sox trading two great players just to get under the luxury tax. It's been an interesting offseason for baseball. And then you're surrounded by this scandal of the Houston Astros where Dusty Baker will take over as manager. A lovable guy. I mean, I'm sure that's why they went to him.
Forever.
I'm sure that's why they went to him. Been around forever. So that'll be interesting there. Really, this show is kind of about, we'll talk a little bit about the action suits coming against the Houston Astros for pitchers who claim they lost their jobs because of these games. This will be interesting. There's only one right now, and it is a Toronto Blue Jay player. That's why I know of it. Who says, he got demoted possibly because of his blowout losses to the Astros. How do you feel about this? The guy's what do they call him? Like a lifetimer, like roadie?
Well, he's in the minors. He's up and down.
Yeah, he's a lifetimer of a call-up. Like he's always been up and down. He's never been a permanent MLB guy. So where do you feel on this now complaining?
Well, I think the other one you mentioned is Bauer. Is probably more prevalent if he jumps into the lawsuit.
Real quick, I'll mention Trevor Bauer. People may know him. He's always spoken his mind. He just actually spoke his mind on the playoff rule, ripping the MLB on the new playoff system. But he's a guy that's not actually has an action suit. I would say he's one of the few that could make a big deal about it if he wanted to, because he has been traded from the Cleveland Indians, the worst team in the league, in Cincinnati Reds. Although, talk about making a turnaround, they've signed a ton of free agents. They look like they could be good too. But anyways, and possibly it's because in the playoffs got lit up by Astros twice, and he's the one who pointed out that they were doing the sign stealing and no one believed him. So he's a guy that if he jumped in the mix could be a problem. Let's focus first on the Blue Jays.
Because he could have lost a massive contract because of that, right?
Well, definitely. You look at that. You also look at the players that gained contracts from Houston. That's always going to be a mystery now that they're caught. Can they be as good? But like someone like him might have lost out on respect from the league on getting blown out by this team in the playoffs specifically. Might have lost out on a contract. Probably got traded to the worst team in the league because of it. Like I said, he's getting lucky now. The team getting better. But where do you stand specifically on the Blue Jay guy?
Well, the Blue Jay guy doesn't matter, except he's brought it up. So here's what happens. You bring it up, and always waiting. Look at how many things have happened this year in the entertainment industry. Nobody said anything. When all of a sudden one person said it. Look at the hockey industry where Babcock got fired, and then all of a sudden all these stories came out. Guys got fired all over the place. Usually takes somebody, and it can be insignificant. So I don't think it's really about this guy, but someone had to speak up, and I think we're going to see others now saying, you know what, and Bauer's a perfect example because it was in the playoffs. And he probably got traded because he couldn't win in the playoffs. So I think this is going to be interesting to see how many guys follow suit. I think there's guys like the Blue Jay guys just searching for money. He just wants someone to pay him, give him a paycheck. I think others want to make the issue big. You're going to see some of the guys that feel like they were embarrassed by the fact that this happened and, they suffered. And, there'll be all kinds of stuff that'll come out, I think, now. It's a tipping point. More guys are going to say, hey, I lost to them too, and I lost my opportunity for a big contract because I lost in the playoffs, and I got blown out and our team was pissed off at me and all this kind of stuff. it'll be interesting to see what happens. Someone had to start it, so that's the only significance of the Blue Jay guy.
Well,
someone had to start.
I think the players they should be pissed are all the players that got traded from the Dodgers the last 2 years because they lost to 2 sign-stealing teams essentially. Or sorry, not this specific year, but the year before and the year before that.
Yeah.
So two of the last 3 years, they were in the World Series, once against Houston, once against Boston, both caught for sign stealing. In Boston, not as much. They're just blaming Alex Cora, who was on Houston. They think he might have brought it there. No specific evidence. But definitely the Houston one. Those are the players who get in. Like a lot of players are traded because we can't win. Like, why can't we win? You got to go. We got to bring someone else in. That's interesting. There,
look at what they've done again this year to try and win. They're bringing players in, right? So this is where it'll start to topple, I think. Whether it'll be anything, I don't know. But you know what? It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much for people to settle.
Yes,
so you might see this. Right?
Yeah, and I think it's going to be over. I think it's going to be over. I think by the regular season comes, MLB's going to want it over. I think they're going to do everything they can to get it over. I think the main players are kind of getting to a point like we don't want any more questions. Not even Houston, by the way. Like other teams' stars don't want questions because they obviously media goes to the star of the team to find out what they think. They've kind of voiced their opinion.
And it was
let's move on.
There was a player, and I'm forgetting his name now, on a sports show who said, or maybe it was a manager, I forget. Anyway, I was watching it. He said, "We all try to steal signs. This has been the history, except for Houston made it
technical.
Took it to now, made it technical. Good, thank you. Made it technical. I think it was actually a former manager said, we all spend our time trying to steal signs. That's been in history of baseball. So there's a lot of people who don't want this to be even dealt with because who knows what else gets brought up. And some team says, yeah, we weren't maybe as good as them, but we stole signs in the playoffs. We had some guys sitting out there doing some signals, whatever. I heard one of the players saying that the bullpen in one of the stadiums where the bullpen was open in little bit older times, we put a glove and a towel on their leg or their shoulder to tell the batter what was happening. So this is not new. It's technical, which has made it bigger than it might have been in other ways, and obviously strapping signal things to their chest and all this kind of stuff. But I don't think baseball wants this to come up at all. I think they just want it to go away, get back in the season next year, not have other teams and other people brought up.
I think the MLB really wants to nip in the bud. That's why they handed out the biggest disciplinary thing in MLB history. I think they'll continue to do it until they make their league look a little bit better. I mean,
well, they did overcome steroids. They're the biggest league with the steroids scandals. And they dealt with that and moved on from that. You don't hear it anymore.
But they'll do that with this.
They'll
suspend anyone they find.
They know how to do it.
They'll continue to suspend until it goes away.
Yeah.
And people, it's like now guys don't do steroids because testing got so severe. They're going to do that now at every state.
And what do they do? This is genius. What do they do to make it go away? Come up with the most ridiculous playoff system ever created. So already now the whole scandal's gone away because now everybody's talking about this new playoff system.
Yeah, and I think the problem with the new playoff system is it sounds ridiculous. I kind of like it. First of all, I hate any player that comes out and immediately rips it apart like Bauer did. I think he's had some interesting points in the time, but even commentators that come out and immediately bash it, I don't get the mediation of bashing something. Like, it's so quick. It's stupid.
You know what?
It's stupid. This is dumb. And why are we doing this?
But you know most of the world's negative, and they listen to those sports guys for doing that.
It is questionable on how they decided to come up with this. I don't really know how they did. It is adding 2 teams to playoffs in each conference.
Right.
Then having teams get a bye, and then the teams choose who they play, the teams that got a bye. Now, first of all, I want to be clear. That's not the dumbest idea I've ever heard. What's sports about? Rivalries. And what's TV about? Rivalries. That's why the NHL has not switched Boston possibly playing Toronto again for the 3rd straight year. Because of TV and because of a rivalry. Well, I tell you what, folks. This is something that could cause rivalries, could cause tension, because when you get picked, if you're the underdog team, by a better team to play against, you're highly motivated.
And they talked about they're going to host the decision on TV. It would be the biggest TV
playoff. It's like a draft in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. I think I'm all about it. I think you should do it kind of right in the beginning even. Like, even the wild card games. I don't know. I just have 8 teams and 8 teams. First of all, I wouldn't just add 2. It'd be 3 because they have 5 or not. I'd make it 8 and have everyone play. So I wouldn't do the bye. So I hate the bye. let everyone play 1 versus 8 teams. But yeah, I'd let them choose. Let the best team choose who the hell they want to play.
Give them some for 162 games.
They worked hard for it, and if they choose the 8th place team, which they probably won't lots of times, they'll look at matchups, they'll look how pitchers work. They might pick the 2nd place team if they feel like, hold on, this team isn't as good as their record because of the division or something. We want to play them. I think it'd be lots of fun. I think it would create tons of rivalries, tons of chirping, tension, and lots of fun. I think it sounds gimmicky when you first heard it. I laughed at it when I first heard it. But baseball needs to become fun. It needs to become young. It's old, dated, and boring. So they need something to do it. The playoff system gives incentive to be good all throughout the season. And I think
they did that. Really they did that with the All-Star game, which made the All-Star game relevant. Was to give the home advantage to the division or the conference that won that. So they haven't been totally without innovation. You got to give them that. And I agree with you. I think this would be a great TV show as the first place teams are choosing who they're going to play. But it's an interesting concept from a perspective of it isn't always number 8 you want to play. Now, I agree with that. Look at the playoffs last year in hockey where so many of the top teams went out against teams that they had a problem with during the season.
You look at
it's interesting.
You look at the Yankees, and let's say the Yankees finished first, but Boston finishes 8th because of the division's tough. The Jays take some games from Boston.
Yeah.
So Boston sneaks in as the final wild card. You think the Yankees want to play Boston?
Yeah.
Hell no. So I'm telling you what, it provides great opportunities for some new rivalries. It provides some tension because every team that gets picked is going to be, oh really? You picked us? All right, let's go. And if they're a higher seed than what the team was supposed to play, even more motivation, even more excitement. I think it could be fun. It could be stupid. It depends how you handle it. But I wouldn't bash everything right away. Baseball, you need an upgrade. And this is just something that a commissioner is trying to do. Golf's upgraded with a new commissioner.
Yeah.
Hockey has not needed a new commissioner. Credit to Gary Bettman, but they've upgraded.
Right.
Basketball's upgraded with Adam Silver, and every sport is upgraded. And Roger Goodell's just adjusted himself. So if we look at some key sports here, they've got new commissioners and they've upgraded the way they've done stuff. It's time for baseball to do the same. He's trying, guys. Give him a chance. I think this is a decent way to go.
And they've tried stuff. The interlocking schedule was another thing that baseball did, right? And it's stuck. So whatever they've thought of over time, it has happened. It has stuck in lots of situations. And the first place team, I think, is great that there's some reason to win your conference. There's a real reason to win. I think it's a great thing the way it would go. It'd be fun to watch. I'm not a fan, although I got to give you the entertainment side of it. I'm not a fan of the 1 game wild card. You kind of get all the way there and make playoffs and get 1 game more than teams that were terrible. But you know what? The most watched games in all the playoffs because people love elimination. People love to watch that happen. So they've done the right things, which is why baseball continues to get the most fans, obviously over 162 game season. So we'll see what happens. We'll bring it forward as we hear more about baseball. Obviously, boy, we're heading close. First week of April is real baseball. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's just not that far away. 2 months away, and they'll be doing spring training now. I mean, they're all going to spring training, so it's going to be interesting what happens through that.
Like 8 months away from a game mattering.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how many games these guys play. But anyway, that's why they can afford to get them paid because they're playing so many games. We'll leave it at that. It'll be interesting what MLB does over the coming weeks here, and we'll cover it whenever we see something that's really interesting.